study,
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
The best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Morning decisions. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Hello and welcome to I Talk to Ghosts. I'm your host, Jennifer. If you're new to the podcast, on Tuesdays, I welcome you into my spirit parlor where we can chat about all things metaphysical. Settle in while I light the candles. Tonight, I want to talk about the clairs, the intuitive senses, and how to gently explore which ones speak most naturally to you. But I want to start by saying something really important right away. I don't believe most people have only one clair. In my experience, most people have all of them. They simply express themselves differently at different volumes and through different conditions. Some are louder, true. Some are quieter. Some wake up early and others take time to trust. The goal of this episode isn't to label yourself or to limit yourself. It's to notice how intuition already moves through you. And as we move through these short exercises, don't strain, don't force, and don't grade yourself. You're not trying to perform intuition. You're noticing how it naturally arrives. If nothing happens during these exercises, that doesn't mean you don't have a clair. It just means perhaps this isn't the language your intuition prefers to speak with first, or that it prefers more spacious conditions, or right now just isn't the correct time, then that is okay. Let's start with clairvoyance or clear seeing. This is intuitive sight, images, symbols, flashes, impressions in your mind's eye. Before we test this, I want to name something important. Some people don't visualize clearly in their mind, and that's completely normal. Clairvoyance doesn't always look like a movie playing behind your eyes. For many people, it shows up as knowing what something looks like rather than seeing it vividly. So if you have time right now, close your eyes and imagine a simple object like a key or a candle or a door. Don't force the detail, just notice, do you get an image or a sense of shape or a symbolic impression rather than a picture? In real life, you know what a key looks like. You know what a candle is used for. You understand the motion of going through a door. Perhaps these images come through for you more like a feeling. But if you do visualize it vividly, that is wonderful also. If something arrives effortlessly, even briefly, it could be a very quick flash. Clairvoyance may be one of your natural channels. So how do you strengthen it? You can try working with symbols rather than realism, journal images that come through in dreams or during meditation, or practice noticing first impressions before the mind edits them. You can come back to this exercise at any time you feel the need to. If you want to test it out differently to see what time of day, what kind of energy level you have, what mood you're in, if this affects your clairvoyant abilities. And also just going forward, pay attention to when images come into your mind. Do you use this skill? in everyday life for yourself? Do you replay conversations from the past with imagery in your head? When you think about going to the grocery store, do you visualize the items that you're going to buy? When you look back on any memory, something beautiful, artwork, nature, do you see it in your head? How clearly do you see it? And this is something that you can also practice doing to strengthen your clairvoyant abilities. The mind's eye is something we kind of take for granted as a gift. We use it all the time. The difference with psychic messages, intuition work, or mediumship is that we are using this skill that we already have, that we already use, but we're using it to blend with spirit energy or with something greater than ourselves to tap into knowledge from a greater source. Next, let's talk about clairaudience or clear hearing. This is intuitive sound, words, phrases, internal guidance, tone, noises. This usually doesn't sound like an external voice outside of your head. For most people, it arrives as a phrase that drops in fully formed, or a thought that feels different from your regular thinking, a tone, a cadence, an internal yes or no. You may very well hear spirit or your intuition speaking to you in your own voice, in your head. Spirit may blend with you in a medium session, and you may hear these phrases in your own mind's voice. Yes, for me, there have been exceptions where I'll hear someone's laugh or a meow or a barking dog or someone clearing their throat. And those sounds tend to be outside of a noise that I would be making in real life or in my head. But again, for the most part, when I hear a phrase in my head, it is in my own mind's voice. So a short exercise would be, ask yourself a simple, neutral question internally, something without emotional charge, and then pause. Don't think of an answer. And notice, does a word or a phrase appear? Does something arrive quickly and quietly? If so, clairaudience may be active for you. So how do you strengthen it? Spend time in silence without input. Write down spontaneous phrases without analyzing them. And trust subtle guidance before it gets loud. Next, let's talk about the intuitive feeling in your body or emotional field. This is called clairsentience or clear feeling. Many people have this clair strongly, but don't realize it's intuitive. They think they're just sensitive. Like, bring to mind a place you love, then bring to mind a place that feels uncomfortable. Notice, does your body respond differently? Is there a tightening, a warmth, a heaviness, or expansion, contraction? If your body reacts before your mind explains, clairsentience is likely a primary channel for you. So how can you strengthen it? Either way, practice body awareness without interpretation. Learn the difference between emotion and intuitive sensation. Ground regularly so sensation doesn't become overwhelming. Clairsentience is a very strong skill with me. I often blend with spirit in a way where I feel their personality as if it's my own. I feel the sentiment that they are trying to describe as if it's mine. And from there, I have to put it into words. And that can give the impression that spirit is speaking to me in complete sentences or even in English. And I don't feel that that is necessarily the case. I have a lot of empathic abilities in which so much information comes in through feeling. And some of that can be physical body feeling, but a lot of times it is emotional feeling. Next, let's talk about claircognizance or clear knowing. This is direct knowing without a logical pathway. You don't see it, you don't hear it, you just know, and often can't explain how. So a short exercise for this is to ask yourself a question you already know the answer to intuitively, but maybe haven't trusted it yet. So a good example would be, how much milk is left in the fridge? Or what is a sound a platypus makes? Something that like you're familiar with it, but you don't know the answer, but it might be easy to intuit it. Something along those lines. You might need a minute to think of a scenario that would work for you, and that's okay. Then notice, does the answer arrive instantly? Does it feel settled, neutral, or complete? If knowing arrives without effort, this clair may be strong for you. And how to strengthen it. Act on small knowings and watch what happens. Release the need to justify your intuition. Trust timing. Knowing often arrives before explanation. Kind of like, did you have a feeling today that your child was going to say they were sick and couldn't go to school, even though they weren't awake yet and you had no external input to guess that, to feel that way? Here's a perfect little real life example. I grabbed a hairdryer out from underneath the bathroom sink, and not looking at it, before I was going to plug it in, I had this rush of knowledge that this thing is going to turn on as soon as I plug it in. And I went ahead and I tested that. I just braced myself for it to be on, but I plugged it in. And sure enough, a button had been pressed that I hadn't investigated beforehand, and that hairdryer started right up. I wouldn't call these experiments. It's more like a noticing. Notice when this happens in your life. Pay attention to it because it comes in really quick. Trust it. And if safe, investigate it. And then validate it in your mind that this was true and that this happened and that you trust it. When we trust and have faith in our abilities, we are opening the doorway wider for more experiences. There's two other clairs I want to talk about, clear smelling and clear taste. These are clairalience and clairgustance. These are less common, but absolutely real. I have experienced these myself, and I kind of love when it happens. They often show up briefly, like a sudden scent with no source, and a taste associated with memory or presence. If you've ever experienced this even once, it counts. How to strengthen these senses. Heighten sensory awareness in daily life. Notice associations without dismissing them. And don't chase these clairs. They tend to appear on their own terms. From there, let's talk about strengthening all the clairs gently. As I said, intuition strengthens through trust, not pressure. Less stimulation creates more clarity. Presence and knowing is more important than technique. Intuition grows when it feels safe to speak. The moment intuition feels tested, judged, or evaluated, it kind of withdraws. So I want to talk about this. I want to talk about effort versus surrender. I want to share how this shows up for me personally when I'm doing a medium reading. I'll be honest, I love clairvoyant images. They're one of my favorite ways spirit communicates with me. So sometimes, very gently, I'll invite them in. I might say, if you'd like to show me images, I'm open to that. But here's the important part. I don't expect them. If images don't come, I don't assume the reading is weaker or blocked or not working. I don't try to push myself into seeing. I don't judge what's happening. The reading is not up to me. It's not up to my expectations. It is completely up to spirit as to what it wants to say, how it wants to say it, and how Spirit wants to blend with me. What if the Spirit I'm working with simply isn't good at sending images? What if they didn't have a strong mind's eye while they were alive? What if visual language just isn't how they communicate? That doesn't make the connection any less real. So instead, I leave my preferences at my parlor door. I clear my expectations, and I just hold the space. I allow the reading to be whatever it wants to be. Words, feelings, knowing, memories, emotion, presence, whatever form it takes is the form that's meant to come through. My job, and your job, isn't to control the language of the reading. Our role is to hold space and listen. This is what it means when I say I'm going to clear my mind for Spirit, not emptying it in a forced way, but just being open and receptive, willing to let go of how I think it should happen. When we release expectation, we stop filtering Spirit through our preferences. And when we stop filtering, we hear more clearly. This is a living example of holding space, trusting that Spirit knows how to communicate better than my mind knows how to direct it. So with this, I'll close with this essential encouragement. When working with intuition, don't reach, don't strain, don't try to pull information towards you. If you notice yourself trying, analyzing, or mentally searching, you've moved out of intuitive space and into analytical space. And you can't be analytical and intuitive at the same time. Switch it off. Intuition is receptive. It arises when we hold space, not when we hunt for answers. The right approach feels like soft attention, a little dreaminess, open curiosity, allowing rather than asking. You're not doing intuition. You're letting it move and flow through you. You are blending with it. And if nothing's coming, that's not failure. That's listening without interference. And that in itself is a form of intuitive practice. I hope you found this discussion helpful and insightful tonight. I absolutely love talking about it. So thank you for sharing your energy and your time with me this evening. Do you have exercises of your own that you like to do to try to strengthen your abilities? I would love to know, so leave a comment where you can. Thanks again for joining me in my spirit parlor tonight. We'll visit again soon. Take care.